Well. Hello, guys. This is Andrew Wright with another review, The Right Thing. It's been a couple days. I am back to work. Quarantine is slowly letting up at the moment. States are starting to let people go back to work. Businesses are opening up. And so I'm going to do a toy review because I was actually able to get a hold of something since I did go back to work. It's an older toy, so chances are there's been reviews on it already, but I have not had this toy, and when I had access to this toy, I was not collecting them. About 10 years ago, the company I work for, we used to carry a lot of the Batman animated series DC Collectibles figures, and I never really bought any of them, and up to this day now, a lot of them have sold through. Some of them are getting pretty hard to find, and so we carried the Batgirl, which I, picked up a few years back, and slowly have been acquiring, some of the collection here and there. And finally was able to get a Batman figure. So this is actually from the new animated series, though. So it's the second Batman figure in the DC Collectibles wave. As you can see, I've already opened it up. Since I am kind of starting to get rid of some of my packaging or not hold on to as much packaging, it was one I just opened up right away, threw the packaging away while I was at work. So it wasn't even something I had to bring home and clutter up anything else. So I'm going to do a little review of it. Like I said, it's my first Batman figure from this wave, so I'm pretty excited because I do have the Batmobile from the DC Collectibles wave 2, so it'll be kind of nice to have a figure to put in this. I'll have to track down a Robin at some point. And as I've stated before, I don't really like to buy online, so like I said, we went back to work, and before this whole quarantine thing started, I had tracked down one at one of our other stores, had it shipped over for me, but I wasn't able to buy it because I didn't have any money at the time, waiting on paycheck, and then we closed, so I couldn't buy it. So now I'm able to have it. Finally picked it up when we went back to work the other day. Like I said, we used to carry them in our company before, so randomly we had one Batman at one store, so I shipped him over, paid the $28, slashed the packaging open, kept the little packaging with all of his accessories, which I'll probably just end up throwing in a Ziploc baggie and marking it DC Collectibles the year. That's kind of how I've been doing some of those that I've been throwing away the packaging. That way I can kind of keep all their accessories in a nice little organized area. I throw all those baggies of their accessories in a tub, and it's nice, easy, and convenient. Doesn't take up a lot of space, so it's been great. So let's get into this guy. So here he is, a little closer look. I like the mold a lot for these figures. They're very accurate to the original animated series. They have the huge jawline, the really broad shoulders, huge chest, very small legs. So aesthetically, I really like these because it feels more like the classic 90s animated feel from when this series came out. Color-wise, he is a little bit different. I wish the gray should probably be a little bit more deep, a little bit darker of a gray. Maybe even some blue in his cape that it kind of reflects. But this is from the new animated series, not from the original series. So it was like the blue packaging one. The other Batman is a lot harder to find from the first wave. So I do believe they did change a little bit of the color scheme in the series. I don't remember that series as much. I have the Blu-ray with everything, but I always go back and just watch the original Batman animated series and don't look into the new animated series as much. However, it'll be something that I eventually make my way back towards. So anyways, let's get into some articulation. Arm up. They only come up about 45 degrees. The way the mold for the arm is, his shoulder kind of comes up a little bit, and basically it hinders anything in the socket from moving further than it does. His arm will go 360, so he basically will go all the way around. The rubber cape is very flexible, so it does not hinder any kind of movement. Single jointed elbow goes almost 90. There is a little bit of wrist movement and twist. Waist swivel. Leg kicks out, leg kick back. Belt doesn't hinder anything because, again, it's like a flexible rubber, so you can kind of get really in there and it doesn't bother that at all. The way the cuts are in the pelvis area, he basically splits further than is probably humanly possible, so you get some pretty awesome movement there. Single knee joint, basically just gets about 90 degrees. Not quite, but almost. Leg down, or not leg, but foot down, foot up. We don't get any pivot in here because these figures weren't like super articulated. They were definitely going for more of a classic feel for it. However, I think collectors wanted the articulation, so they did obviously add some articulation to these that was not in a lot of the classic figures. It does have some shin movement here, so you can get a little bit more posability and stances, being able to like move his feet in different positions. So they are relaunching these figures here soon with a couple new additions from the animated series. So with like the directions that figures have been going in the articulation, kind of curious to see what DC Collectibles does with the new line. Obviously the McFarlane for the animated series is the articulation in the waist, which is really nice, so you get that crunch and that swivel movement. These don't have it. Like I said, they are kind of going for that classic look, but with figures just going the way they are, it'll be nice to see what DC Collectibles decides to do with this line when they relaunch them. So overall, I'm happy with this figure. Like I said, I wish that they did have a little bit more articulation. Obviously the cuts here in the legs are really great for a lot of motion, but they look a little bit funky, especially when you do move the leg all the way out. The underwear kind of, obviously the way it's painted on there, look really weird. So overall, still happy with this figure. And like I said, I have a Batmobile, so the fact that he is scaled to the Batmobile, I'm pretty happy that I'll be able to put him in there. So let's take a look at some accessories. Multiple sets of hands. So first two are basically like a semi-open grip, probably for holding a Batarang. Next set is still a little bit more open, a little bit more closed. He doesn't come with a lot of accessories, so I'm not sure what these would be able to hold. I'm assuming probably his like spelunking gun, I'm guessing. Whatever you would call that gun that shoots his rope. Next set of hands then are even more closed than the first set. Again, looks like they might hold a Batarang, but there is not any holes to actually put anything in there, so I think it's just more for an aesthetic look. He does have one hand with that thing I was trying to describe, the spelunking thing. The launcher with the rope. He does come with the extra piece solo, so that's what I was saying. It's probably for some of those other hands. Also a Batarang. Finally, an alternative cape, which I think just kind of goes over the shoulders more for that classic, covers his whole body with his cape, so it kind of has that feel to it, but even though it does come in a lot and doesn't actually cover the way he would normally hide in the series, but again, it's that soft rubber, so it's very flexible. And finally, the stand that comes with all the figures. I really like these stands a lot. Pretty generic stand though. And so anyways, what do you guys think of this figure? Are you a fan of the classic design? Do you guys collect the DC Collectibles animated series Batman figures? Are you going to be looking forward to any of the new ones that are coming out? Let's talk about them in the comments. And if you like, hit subscribe, click the bell. It'll notify you whenever I put up more content. Thanks again for watching. I hope everybody's staying safe now that everybody's starting to go back to work. Hopefully you're eligible to go back to work, and if that's something you wanted to do. Again, stay safe. Thanks again for watching. Have a great one.